Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Lehigh Sports Central, presented by Coordinated Health. I'm Steve Degler. Coming up on this week's show, men's soccer head coach and Michael Tahiru will join us talking about their Patriot League championship season. We'll also have the November Player of the Month as well. But first, we begin with men's basketball as head coach Brett Reed joining us along with junior James Karnik. Mountain Hawks off to a 3-5 start. Little deceiving though. The losses, good caliber of competition. 2 4-point losses in there as well, plus a lot of travel. So how do you assess the first 8 games of the season?
Well, I think it's a time of learning and growth. To kind of your point, I think we've done a pretty good job of playing against some pretty good competition. We've been on the road against a strong Missouri Valley team that won their league the year before, a St. Mary's team out in California that was ranked in the top 25 at the beginning of the season, and a number of prominent mid-major programs within our region. In each of those cases, a lot of those games have gone into maybe a 1 or 2, 3 possession type of game, and we just haven't been able to capitalize on all of them. We did pick up a pretty good road win at Albany, which was a good testament and a good sign, but if we can just continue to try to take steps, which we've shown throughout November and now into December, we'll be in pretty good shape.
James, for you personally, you've been on the floor basically since the start of your freshman year. You're now a junior, playing these good non-conference games early in the season. How do you feel that helps you and the team as you get into Patriot League play?
Just being more familiar with the play style. So I know I've been in these situations before, and being able to recognize when we're doing things wrong or when we're doing things right, just being able to emphasize certain things. At times, if we're not following the game plan to point, just being able to emphasize, like, hey, that's the top guy on the board, that's the guy we need to stop, being able to focus on that, just having that awareness of that and that experience with it is good.
You lost quite a few good players from last year's team. So for you as a junior, how important is it to you to get the younger guys acclimated as quickly as possible?
Yeah, it's just important to get their confidence, to make sure that they step in their role. The familiarity and the pace of the game is going to be a big change with them. And obviously playing with a whole new team, like they've never played with each other, they never played with us. We got to work with them in the summer, but it's still a learning progress. So being able to learn how to play together, being able to recognize certain things and recognize each other's tendencies is just all stuff that they have to slowly get familiar with, and then we'll become more a collected team.
Coach, we were talking, you'd like your team to shoot better. I think every coach in America wants that a little bit, but some of the other issues you've dealt with over the first 8 games seem to be somewhat fixable getting into Patriot League play, right? Absolutely.
We've got guys who are experiencing new things. They're going through new situations, and every game they're learning and growing. I got to give a lot of credit to James and some of our returning players. They've done an excellent job of mentoring some of the young players, because you got to realize a lot of these guys haven't played, whether it's Division I competitive college basketball or they're entering a new role and have new responsibilities within this program. So that requires them to step up their game. And for somebody like James, who now has experience, who's been there, Jordan, who's been there, they can kind of take the reins and talk to some of the younger guys to help them learn and grow. And kind of as a follow-up, when we were talking about that question about scheduling, when you play against good teams in November and December and you make mistakes, they find those mistakes and they capitalize. And it really puts kind of a spotlight on it, especially for younger players, that, hey, we've got to correct this or else we're going to give up baskets, or we're not going to be able to score as effectively. And those small things about execution, especially because we played so many different styles, just helps us because we'll be more versatile when we head into league play.
Your latest trip was over the weekend, going to New York City to take on Columbia out of the Ivy League. One of those tough losses we were talking about, 68-64, the final, the Lions getting the victory in the end. What did you think of your team's play in this particular game?
Well, I was really pleased the way in which we started. We came out on fire. We played well together. This was a game offensively where we moved the ball a little bit better when we were free playing than in previous games. Unfortunately, they had a really good player who scored and scored pretty effectively for them, and we weren't able to slow him down as much. But Jordan Cohen continues to take steps forward for us. He's been aggressive. He's been assertive. Here, Evan Taylor makes a nice turnaround jump shot, and he was a guy that really gave us an offensive spark to begin with. And we're finding ways to get multiple guys to contribute.
James, your assessment of the way things went on Saturday for the team?
Yeah, obviously it was disappointing that we got the loss, but there was a lot of good things to come out of that game. Just the way that we played when we first started. Previously in the past, we've had difficulties, starting the game off strong. You know, I feel like that's something that we kind of put an emphasis on, and, you know, trying to play the full 40 minutes and making sure we get after it. Obviously, that's still something that we, you know, are struggling with. We have our ups and downs, but it was good to see that we came out strong, especially the way we arrived. We didn't get the warm-up that we kind of wanted. We showed up a little late. But yeah, I was definitely happy with the way people came, with the mindset people came with that game.
Mentioned you're a junior, 6'9", out of Surrey, British Columbia. What did you work on individually over this past offseason to get yourself better this year?
Just a lot of touch and footwork stuff. You know, things that I felt with before too that I struggled with was just consistency of play. I would have some games where I was getting in foul trouble or fouling out, or, you know, missing easy shots. A lot of that stuff I figured out was mentally with me. So just being able to work on my mental game as long as my physical game is something that I've really tried to improve on, and I felt like I have improved.
Reading one of the Lehigh feature stories on you this summer, it talked about the impact your grandfather has had on you. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, my grandfather made a lot of sacrifices in his life to be at the point where he's at, and just his work ethic and coming from practically nothing in Canada just really rubbed off on me, and just seeing the way he's worked, it really showed me that if you work hard towards something and you really have your mindset, it'll pay off in the end.
What has this guy meant to the program the first 2 years he's been on the floor for you?
He's a warrior, first and foremost. This is a guy who brings an attitude and an energy about him every single day in practice and within our games. I think it's become contagious as well. You know, our toughness as a team needed to increase, and James has done a great job of kind of like setting the temperature for that and helping to encourage that type of behavior. He's the guy who will be first to take a charge and sacrifice his body. He'll be a guy who will lead us in rebounding. He'll be a guy who plays with great energy and can continue to score. And, you know, overall, I think that he started as a very good player because he had a lot of physical attributes and played hard. But he's continued to work on his game. He's continued to work on his maturity as well in the way in which he approaches the game. And that's paying dividends, because so far throughout the course of this season, he's probably arguably been our most consistent player so far.
Your top scorer thus far is Jordan Cohen, who's coming off back-to-back 20-point games. He was a guy last year, didn't get a lot of the attention early on. Other players would get that attention. Then he emerged mid-season. What led to that play for him to step up and become a key contributor to your team?
You know, it's an interesting dynamic with Jordan, because I think he's such a pleaser and he wants to be a good leader. Because we had a variety of different offensive options last year, he would defer a great deal. He's a senior now, and even James would attest. James is a strong performance leader for us. He's been somebody who's been on the floor, but I think people are looking to Jordan to make these type of plays. And the fact that he has the ability and can convert is only, at this stage, hopefully fueling his confidence, because guys are looking for him to make these type of plays. He realizes that he can do it, and now that he kind of is bearing a little bit more of the weight, I think he can step into it. I think the first couple games of the season, that weight was a little bit too much, and probably he was pressing. Now he's settling into it, understanding his role, understanding the dynamics of his team, and I think the team has done a great job of encouraging him to be aggressive.
James, how does his ability to score, whether it's from beyond the arc or off the dribble drive, help you inside?
Yeah, just if you know, people getting open looks at the rim, obviously guys are going to be focusing on those people. So, you know, it makes my job easier if my man helps over and he gives me a quick little pass. But just kind of going off on that too, Jordan, the way Jordan stepped into the role too, has also helped us just offensively, you know, moving around the ball. His confidence kind of gets other people going. St. Mary's was a great thing to attest to that. Is just the way he pushed the ball and the way that he really got things going for us, and the way he approached it with a lot of confidence. It really just helped, you know, guys running to the spots, getting other guys open shots as well, getting himself nice looks too.
Things won't get a whole lot easier for your team. You've got a couple of really good teams coming on your schedule this week. You'll be at St. Francis, a team that just beat St. Joseph's out of the Atlantic 10 pretty easily, and then you've got Yale as well at home. It's a challenging couple of games coming up for you.
Yeah, I love it. Let's go. You know, we had another challenge immediately after that with final exams, so these guys are finishing up projects and papers and then preparing for exams. We've got to go into a unique environment at St. Francis. Hopefully we can play very, very well. hold them down. They've got experience. This is a team that's won a great deal of games with this nucleus of players. And the same could be said for Yale. Yale just defeated really a top-tier mid-major program in Vermont, and they're a team that has experience winning. And when you have that combination of experience plus a little bit of moxie that comes with winning, that makes you pretty dangerous. But we've got the right type of formula, whether it's on the road or at home. Our defense can travel. It can put us in positions to win games. Now we fix some of the small execution things and improve some of our offensive efficiency, and we give ourselves a pretty good chance.
That's coming up this week, Wednesday and Saturday. Then a break for finals, as Coach was mentioning, another cupcake at Auburn on the 21st, and then at Princeton between Christmas. Who does your schedule?
I'm a glutton for
You
punishment.
must be. You must be. But your guys will be ready for that January 2nd game at Navy, the beginning of Patriot League play. And James, do you see things starting to come together?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we're learning to play together better, and we're learning to gel with each other. So like we said, we have our younger team, and the more comfortable they get, the better we start playing. So,
well, great to have you guys here. Thanks for taking the time. Best of luck for the next couple of games.
Thank you.
Brett Reed, head coach of the men's basketball team, and junior James Karnik joining us on Lehigh Sports Central. When we come back, we'll look back at the Patriot League Men's Soccer Championship for Lehigh as head coach Dean Koski and Michael Tahiro, who had the game winner in the title game, join us right after this.